There. All right, hello everyone. This is kind of a take two. Luckily, I didn't book any show while I was recording, but I forgot to pause the recording. So we're here, but big news to start us off, which is what made me realize something. Kind of our number two heel. Not that I kind of purposefully chose it, but he was there consistently enough. He's kind of been a big name for us. Killer Kowalski outside has been injured, so it'll be interesting to see how we can book around that. And basically, what I talked about earlier is let me go to our show history here. So, yeah, show history. So, basically, with Lutez's last match, the issue we've run into now is this is going to be our first major turning point, which we all kind of knew as part of this company since basically, so we had week two, week three, week four, right here. Right here is where we knew we were going to have to wind down Lutez's career in our save. We probably had another month with him, but I wanted to make sure that an event called Lutez's last match, we had Luthez. That's how I handle retirements. I don't want to mistime it and screw it up. Don't do that. So this is what we do. And basically, the Canadian Classic was our second event. What's interesting is when I first started the promotion and I had the idea of the Canadian Classic, because I always figured a tournament would be a good way to run shows, still has our best match ever. Is I was originally going to have Buddy Rogers win the Canadian Classic, and then the first person to win the title at Luthez versus Buddy Rogers 4 was going to be Luthez. But unfortunately, with the retirement, plans changed, pal, and Luthez won the Canadian Classic. But yeah, I mean the Canadian Classic was basically a whole show that ended up being a continuation of the Buddy Rogers Luthez rivalry, and it ended here with Buddy Rogers winning the title, and then we had Luthez's last match. So basically, the first 4 months of our promotion's history were all about Luthez, and it made sense. But now that Luthez is officially retired on TV, we need to show our audience that, hey, just because Luthez is done, there are people to watch. A Nick Kozak, a Killer Kowalski, Abdullah the Butcher, Rocky Johnson. We got Fritz Von Erich, Gorilla Monsoon. We got rookies coming up in Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper. Yes, I'm looking at the roster page on who to win, but Tony Bourne. There are other people to watch here. And so the turn from Luthez to Buddy Rogers, Nick Kozak to kind of fill that Luthez hole, it's a big responsibility because at this point in wrestling history, and in the save and what we've been marketing as a company has been Luthez is the best ever of all time. The best ever of all time is done. He's probably got another month, but we're just done with that. And it's time to kind of move on from there. So we have CFW Live Special, which I kind of want to be numbered just for funsies. Uh, but that's besides the point. I've just to see how high we could get it until we can start doing pay-per-views in the early 80s if we exist. Because, like I said, right now, creatively, we've been hitting it out of the park. If we go to our growth has been really good. So the question is, though, can our growth, because let's just track our progress. Even in places like Alberta, we were 10, we've gone up by 1. We're at 29 now. We were 25, 25, 26, 28, and now we're at 29. So we're 6 popularity points away from being at small, which can probably allow us to grow our roster and everything like that. We've grown 1 in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, not so much, but yeah. So, and then in the USA, in the Northwest, where we maybe one day run a show in the not anytime soon realm, but we're at a 9. So we're growing. It is definitely possible to go there. We have, but we have our titles, which are pretty prestigious, I would say, in my opinion, especially the Canadian Classic winner. So yeah, but everything is going up except for the guys that our first 2 shows have built around, and Luthez is angry, but he's just going to be a road agent from here on out. And Buddy Rogers, the issue could be if Buddy Rogers were to walk out, that would suck for us. But right now, we'll see how that goes. But I doubt it. And then the problem is our main event scene. Not a lot of youth in there. Abdul the Butcher, I would say, is the closest. But our rookies, we're having to put him on the pre-show, so fans are accepting of him. But that's it for kind of the update after a big show. I kind of have a longer intro to kind of see what our status is as a company after our main show. But Killer Kowalski, he's injured. He's kind of been our number two heel behind Buddy Rogers. And I don't think, we'll see if we go all the way with a partnership. It was kind of improvised when I realized Tony Bourne couldn't be on our show. So we'll see. But basically, as I get close to our new show, I'm going to make sure to remember to pause so there's not a lot of dead time there. We'll see how everything goes, but right now, yeah, so we'll see in this new direction. I'm almost approaching our next episode like it's a pilot. So I'll see you guys in one hot minute. All right, so here we go in our first pre-show match. Another great match where Roddy Piper wins, rating of 36. Just another rookie showcase, and these guys kill it. We can once we get these guys' popularities up with young talent, man. With this young talent, Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, Jimmy Snuka. Oh, oh, oh. These shows are going to be a lot easier to book. I'll say that. And next up, we have Buddy Rogers. And Tony Bourne, Buddy Rogers is coming out, trying to gloat about being the smartest man. Of course, Killer Kowalski. Tony Bourne comes out, and Tony Bourne basically says, all that BS you tried pulling against me at Luthez's last match, you cost me a chance to wrestle on the same card as Luthez. I took out Killer Kowalski. We don't know when we'll see Killer Kowalski again. So, you know what? Why don't you take a pencil and shove it in your neck, or I'll do it for you. Because at the end of the day, I will beat you for that title. So bring out the opponent of your choice who will not be Killer Kowalski, because he is gone, he is injured. I beat the crap out of him. And I'll settle this like a man, and you'll be forced to defend your title against me. So very passionate words. So Buddy Rogers says, you know what? I agree. He has an ace up his sleeve, and that is the Missouri Mauler. Oh, wow. Second best match of all time. Shout out to the Missouri Mauler, because holy crap. He only had a 41, but still, wow. Yeah, so great wrestling, good heat. Tony Bourne defeats the Missouri Mauler. A good showing by the Missouri Mauler. So Tony Bourne at the first ever CFW live super show or live special will face Buddy Rogers for the World Heavyweight Championship. And next up, ending their feud, Gorgeous George and Rocky Johnson obviously weren't happy with it, but Rocky Johnson gets the win. And then who else shows up but Abdullah the Butcher, who comes down and beats down Rocky Johnson, as Rocky Johnson is very clearly the number one contender for the Canadian Heavyweight Championship. And next up, in our main event, which probably shouldn't have been our main event, but yeah, 58 solid rating. Nick Kozak in his first appearance since helping Luthez end his career on a high note. Wrestles a really good match. He won by pinfall. And basically, Nick Kozak takes a mic and he says, I know it's his backstage promo, but it's in a ring. He basically says, last night, Luthez and I tore the house down. We ended a legend's career. Because I won the match, I was given the option to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship. I honestly don't think that would be right. Tony Bourne is the number one contender, and he deserves that. But here in the Canadian Federation of Wrestling, we have a Canadian champion, a World Heavyweight champion, but we've had some tag team matches around here. And I've teamed with my brother. So, how about at our next CFW Supercard, I go after the tag team titles with my brother, and we face a tag team of anyone, just whoever is the best tag team in our company, and we tear the house down and we crown inaugural champions for the Canadian Federation of Wrestling Tag Team Championships. What say everybody here in the building? Do you guys want tag team titles here in the Canadian Federation of Wrestling? And hopefully the crowd is behind it. Obviously, Nick Kozak is very over. The rating segment was not that good. But yeah, so basically Nick Kozak wants a shot at the tag team titles. So that's it for this one. We get a 50. Wow. And there's our best show of all time. So despite the fact that Lou Thesz's career is over, we show everyone there are other people to get behind, and they prove it here with a 57 rating. You love to see it. The Canadian Federation of Wrestling trending upwards, people. All right, tune in for next week's episode, which will be later in this video, of the Canadian Federation of Wrestling. All right. So while our first shows were booked around him, Lou Thesz has walked out of CFW. It is a shame, but hopefully this helps with Buddy Rogers' morale, and it has not, because Buddy Rogers still isn't happy. But yeah, I'm kind of devastated about that, because, I mean, yeah, now I'm reacting to this as well. He was upset about losing his final match, but it is what it is. He was on his way out. I wanted to keep Lou Thesz as a road agent, but yeah, it looks like Lou Thesz is kind of done with CFW. He ended on bad terms with us. Realistically, I don't think we'll ever see Lou Thesz here again. He it is what it is. He just not happy, makes sense, but we did give him his final match. I don't think there's much more we could have done. I mean, if you go to our show history, you can comment below if I'm to blame for this, but yeah, our first major backstage scandal. Does this hurt our prestige? I'm genuinely curious. No, not really. But yeah, we were moving on from anyway. I kind of noticed he wasn't a road agent, but it makes sense as, I mean, he lost there, but I mean, yeah, it was just he was upset he lost to, uh, but I mean, win here, basically setting up Killer Kowalski next week. But I mean, he lost there, but he was kept strong and he didn't seem that angry about it. And then Buddy Rogers, and then yeah, he didn't have it there, but I mean, win there, didn't wrestle, win there. Whole show built around nothing but putting Lou Thesz over. So it is what it is. I think realistically, if you're going to walk out with us without pay, I think you guys can do this if I'm wrong, but Lou Thesz will never work in CFW again. Looks like, but yeah, he's on our blacklist. We will not work with Lou Thesz again. He doesn't want to work with us. We don't want to work with him if he's going to walk out like that. We built our first 3 months around him, and in what is his final match, because he's nearing retirement, he just walks out. I don't think that is my fault. I don't think, like, I built a whole one of our second ever big event was around him winning, and he's going to walk out on us. Now, I mean, maybe it is kind of realistic to have a veteran with an ego walk out over a young startup promotion, I guess, if you look at some recent wrestling history, but it is the kind of stuff I like. Luckily, he walks out after he retires, so he just cost himself a road agent job. That's all it was. So, congrats, Luthez. In this universe, you great person there. You lost there. So, it is what it is at this point. We'll see how it goes from there. Hopefully, we don't lose Buddy Rogers as well. So, oh boy. So, we have another scandal here where Gorgeous George Jr. shows up drunk in no condition to work. How are we going to deal with this? I think because it's his first one, I think three strikes me. I would say two stern warnings, a fine and two fines, and then fired in the span of per 3 months, I'd say. So we're going to give him a stern warning here as we get into the booking of this show. But yeah, some backstage drama here in CFW so far. Hopefully we can recover, but we'll see. All right, everyone, welcome back. And we get a rookie showcase between Jimmy Snuka and Dusty Rhodes. And yeah, just a solid, pre show match, et cetera, et cetera. You've heard it all before. But yeah, once we can get all four of these guys on the main show, and we start the show with Woody Farmer versus Harold Sakata. Just a solid, decent match. Joe Brunetti probably could have done better. And there we go, Buddy Rogers. We open the show with an interview from our world champion, Buddy Rogers. He says, "Oh, Tony, you're the number one contender. I can do anything you can do, et cetera, et cetera." And next segment, yeah, we got to edit the road agents. We lost a good road agent, so that really does hurt. But I'm going to go through and edit the road agents before next episode, hopefully, if I remember to. But yeah, Buddy Rogers defeats Roddy Piper with the figure four leg lock and basically beating the record for longest win in history with a minute 35. Just kind of, being a jerk, and beating on a young rookie and Roddy Piper. But, solid first outing for Roddy Piper. And yeah, next up, 49, Nick Kozak kind of wins and everything with Mike York. But then, of course, the Carl Vaughns attack Jerry Kozak, beat him down. And basically, they're like, oh, uh, you want to talk about tag titles? How about us be your opponents? Because we're going to beat you. And, they're beating down Jerry Kozak to send a message. And next up, a 42. Ooh, yeah, we had a miss with this show. I'm just going to be honest. Just kind of a match where Rocky Johnson defeated uh, Abdul the Butcher. And yeah, just really showing off a shining moment for a future potential Canadian heavyweight champion. And then he just basically says, you know what, Abdullah, I know your tricks. You tried beating me down just the way you beat down my tag partner tonight. But I'm not going to fall for the same thing. I will beat you and is nothing you can do about that. So there you go, and we probably there. All right, 43. So not our best show. Definitely a miss. This was one of those shows I booked where it just didn't work out. I think Enrique not being the road agent really hurt. Yeah, so missed by me, not setting my road agent properly, doing a risk by just testing the waters on one of our rookies who are usually on the rookie showcase to be able to perform, and it didn't work out. So, but still got above the 40 mark for the network. Network's happy, but not our best show. So we finished on a sour note in terms of our wrestlers, kind of not with some backstage drama and everything. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, that's it for this episode, everyone. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. But yeah, what is going on over here? There is some trouble for CMLL. What happened with CMLL? Wow, CMLL is on the decline. They are currently the number one promotion in the world. We're still probably stuck at 37, aren't we? Yeah. Um, Trying to catch up to these guys right now. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for this one, everyone. I hope to see you all back here with an episode next week as we continue to try to catch up to some of these other companies. So, see you guys then. Love doing these. This doesn't get a lot of views on the channel. Obviously, Corky's Corner and Hurricane Review do better, but yeah, still have fun doing these. So I'll keep making them. If you guys keep watching them, the few that do, I appreciate all of you. See you soon, and let's bounce back here as we lead into our first ever CFW live special.